I never thought betrayal could feel physical, like your heart tearing from the inside. It started with something small. Alina's phone buzzed on the kitchen counter while she was in the shower. She never left it unlocked. Never. At first, I didn't mean to look. I told myself, just check if it's work. But the screen lit up. A message from Daniel Cross, my boss. Daniel, can't wait to see you tonight. Same place? My stomach twisted. I opened the chat. My fingers shook so badly I could barely scroll. Dozens of messages. Words that didn't belong to a professional conversation. Alina, you make me feel alive again. Daniel, he'll never know. He's too busy working for me. I felt like I couldn't breathe. My throat burned. 5 years of marriage flashed before my eyes. The nights I stayed late at the office. The dinners she waited up for. The smiles that suddenly made sense. When she came out of the shower, she froze, seeing me with her phone in hand. A single drop of water ran down her cheek and her eyes widened. Ethan, what are you doing? I swallowed hard. Reading the truth. She took a step forward, shaking. It's not what you think. Then explain, I said, my voice flat. Explain why my boss is calling you baby and sending you hotel addresses. Her lips trembled. I didn't mean for it to happen. It just what? I cut in. You accidentally fell into his bed? Stop! She snapped, her voice cracking. You don't understand, Ethan. You were never here. You were always buried in work. I was lonely. I stared at her, disbelief tightening my chest. So your solution was to sleep with the man I work for? Tears streamed down her face. I made a mistake. No, I said quietly. You made a choice. For a second, silence filled the room. Thick, suffocating silence. Then the anger came. Not loud, but sharp. Do you realize what you've done to me? To us? I built my career under that man. I trusted both of you. She covered her face, sobbing. Please, Ethan, I love you. I just lost myself for a while. I laughed bitterly. You lost yourself in his arms. I turned away, staring at the window. Outside, the city lights blurred. My reflection looked like a stranger's, tired, broken, hollow. Where are you going? She whispered. Away, I said. Before I say something I can't take back. She ran forward, grabbing my arm. Don't do this. We can fix it. I looked down at her hand. The same hand that had probably touched him. I gently pulled free. You already broke it. As I walked toward the door, her voice followed me, desperate. Please, Ethan, don't go. He doesn't mean anything to me. I turned back, meeting her tear-filled eyes. He meant enough to ruin everything. The door closed behind me with a sound I'll never forget. Not a slam, just a quiet end. Outside, the cold hit my face like punishment. I walked without direction, each step echoing louder than the last. My phone buzzed again. Daniel's name. I answered. Ethan, my man, he said casually, his voice smooth as ever. Can we talk? There's something I think you should... Shut up, I interrupted. Excuse me? You think I'm stupid? I said, voice trembling. I saw the messages. There was a pause. Then a low chuckle. Well, looks like the secret's out, I clenched my jaw. You used me. You used my ideas, my trust, and my wife. You're overreacting, he said. These things happen. Be a man, Ethan. Something inside me snapped. You don't get to tell me what a man is. You're a coward hiding behind charm and money. His tone hardened. Careful, Reed, you don't want to make enemies in this industry. I laughed coldly. I already did. Then I hung up. The wind howled through the empty street as I kept walking. My hands were numb, my chest heavy. Everything I'd built, my marriage, my job, my peace, gone in one night. I stopped near a dark alley and leaned against the wall, breathing hard. For a moment, I wanted to scream, but no sound came out. I just stood there, shaking, trying to make sense of the wreckage. That night, I didn't cry. I didn't beg. I didn't break things or call anyone. I just walked until my legs gave out. And when the sun rose, I knew something inside me had died. Or maybe something new had started to live. I barely slept. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw Alina and Daniel, her laugh, his smug face. By morning, I'd convinced myself it was a nightmare. But nightmares don't call you into the office at 9 a.m. When I stepped inside, everyone stared. Whispers followed me like smoke. I ignored them and walked straight to Daniel's office. His secretary looked up nervously. He's expecting you. Of course he was. Daniel sat behind his desk, suit perfect, smile colder than the air conditioning. Alina stood near the window, pretending she was there for something else. "Ethan," Daniel said smoothly, "take a seat." I didn't move. "Say what you called me here for." He folded his hands. "This isn't easy, but after reviewing recent reports, the board feels your performance hasn't met expectations." "We'll have to let you go." I stared at him. "You're firing me?" "It's a business decision," he said. "Nothing personal." My laugh was bitter. "You sleep with my wife and steal my job, but sure, nothing personal." His expression didn't change. "Watch your words, Reed." "Or what?" I asked. "You'll ruin me more than you already have?" Alina stepped forward, voice trembling. "Ethan, please don't make this worse." I turned to her. "Worse? You're standing beside the man who destroyed everything I worked for." She looked down. "I didn't mean for this to happen." "Stop saying that," I snapped. "You both knew exactly what you were doing." Daniel sighed. "Security will escort you out." I clenched my fist but said nothing. The guards entered. I grabbed the small box with my nameplate and a few files. As I passed Daniel, I whispered, "You're not untouchable." "Remember that," he smirked. "We'll see." The elevator ride down felt like falling through years of effort. When the doors opened, Maya was waiting near my desk. She looked pale. "Ethan, they really did it." "Yeah," I said quietly. "Effective immediately." Her eyes darted around. "They're spreading lies already, saying you leaked data." I closed my eyes, trying not to explode. "He's covering his tracks, typical." "I'm sorry," she said softly. "You don't deserve this." "None of us do," I muttered. "Just be careful, Maya, don't trust him." She hesitated. "If you ever need help," I forced a small smile. "I'll keep that in mind." Walking out of that building felt like leaving my own skin behind. My reflection in the glass doors looked hollow. Outside, I called Paul. "Hey," he answered, half asleep. "You sound like hell." I got fired. "What?" His voice jolted awake. "From Crosstech?" "You're joking." I wish I was. Daniel made it sound like it was my fault. Son of a... Paul cursed. "Come over. We'll figure something out," I hesitated. "I don't even know what to do anymore." "First you breathe," he said. "Then you eat. Then you crash on my couch until you remember who you are." A weak chuckle escaped me. "That bad, huh?" "That bad," he said. "Get over here. Beers on me?" I hung up and started walking. The city blurred around me. Cars honking, people laughing, life moving on like nothing happened. By the time I reached Paul's apartment, I felt like I'd aged 10 years. He opened the door in sweatpants, holding 2 bottles. "You look like death," he said. "Feels accurate." We sat in silence for a while. Finally, he asked, "You gonna tell me what happened?" I told him everything. The messages. The office. The humiliation. He didn't interrupt until I finished. Then he muttered, "You always believed in people too much." "Maybe that's my problem," I said quietly. He leaned back. "Nah, it's their problem for not valuing it." I looked at the ceiling. "So what now?" He shrugged. "You rebuild, or you burn it all down and start over. Either way, you don't let them win." I stared at the bottle in my hand, watching the condensation drip. "Easier said than done," Paul grinned faintly. "That's why I'm here, to say the stupid brave stuff until you believe it." I smiled for the first time that day. "Thanks. Don't thank me yet," he said. "I'm charging rent after a week." We laughed, but the sound felt strange, like something broken trying to heal. That night, as I lay on his couch staring at the ceiling, I realized I wasn't just jobless. I was empty. The life I built was gone, and for the first time in years, I didn't know who I was. Paul's couch became my world. Days blurred into nights, nights into something worse. Silence. He tried to keep things normal. "You should eat," he said one morning, waving a plate of eggs at me. "I'm not hungry. You said that yesterday." "Then stop asking," he sighed. "You can't keep doing this." "I lost my job, my marriage, and my dignity," I muttered. "What exactly do you expect me to do?" "Celebrate?" Paul sat across from me. "I expect you to remember you're still alive." "Barely." He leaned forward. "You think you're the first person who got betrayed? You think lying on my couch will fix anything? I think it's the only thing I can do without falling apart." He didn't answer, just shook his head and walked away. The TV played some travel commercial, blue skies, happy people. I stared at it, feeling like the world had moved on and forgotten me. My phone buzzed. Alina's name. I turned it face down. 3 days later, she called again, then again. Then she sent a message. "Please, Ethan, talk to me." I deleted it without opening. Paul noticed. "Still her?" "Yeah. You're not curious what she wants?" "No," he raised an eyebrow. "Liar," I glared at him. "She already said everything when she chose him." He held up his hands. "Fair enough, but you can't live like this forever. Watch me." That night, I lay awake staring at the ceiling. Every sound felt louder, the hum of the fridge, the ticking clock, my heartbeat echoing in my ears. Sleep wouldn't come. My mind replayed that moment in Daniel's office over and over. His smirk. Her silence. By morning, I felt numb. I showered, put on clean clothes for the first time in days, and walked outside. The sunlight hurt my eyes. Paul caught me at the door. "You going somewhere?" "Nowhere," I said. "Just need air." He studied me for a moment. "You sure you're okay?" "No," I said honestly. "But maybe I'll get there." I wandered for hours. Parks, cafes, streets that used to feel familiar. Everything looked different now, like I'd been erased from my own life. That evening, back at Paul's, I scrolled through social media without thinking. And there it was, Alina and Daniel. In Italy. He had his arm around her, both smiling in front of the Colosseum. The caption read, "To new beginnings." Something inside me snapped. Not anger, not sadness. Something sharper. Paul came in, saw my face. "What happened?" I turned the phone toward him. He whistled softly. Wow, they didn't waste time. I kept staring at the screen. He took everything from me and got rewarded for it. Paul frowned. "Not forever." What's that supposed to mean? It means people like him always fall. Give it time. Time won't give me my life back, I said. I have to take it. He studied me carefully. What are you saying? I'm done hiding, I said, standing. I've spent my whole life making people like Daniel rich. I built his empire while he played the hero. No more, Paul crossed his arms. You're serious. Dead serious. He smiled faintly. There's the Ethan I know, I met his gaze. I don't even know who that is anymore. You'll find him, he said. Start small. Just do something, I nodded slowly. Maybe I will. That night I opened my laptop for the first time since everything fell apart. The screen's glow felt like light after months of darkness. I opened old files, projects I'd designed, ideas Daniel stole, things he claimed as his own. Every line of code, every plan, every pitch, I remembered them all. I whispered to myself, if he could build his empire on my work, I can build mine without him. For the first time in weeks, I felt awake. Not healed, not whole, but alive. Paul peeked from the hallway. You working again? Maybe, I said. Or maybe I'm just starting over, he smiled. That's the same thing. As the night deepened, I kept typing. The pain didn't fade, but it finally had direction. And somewhere between anger and exhaustion, I realized something. I wasn't broken anymore. I was rebuilding. Maya found me before I found myself. She showed up at Paul's apartment one morning holding 2 coffees. You look like you've been living in a cave, she said, handing me one. I have, I muttered. It's called unemployment, she smirked. Then congratulations. You're finally free, I stared at her. Free? I lost everything. No, she said. You lost Daniel. That name hit me harder than the caffeine. You still talk to him? Not anymore. I quit last month. You what? She sat down beside me. I got tired of the lies. You weren't crazy, Ethan. He was stealing from you long before you found out. I blinked. You knew? Not at first, she said. But once I saw your prototypes under his name, I couldn't stomach it. Anger flared in me. He used my name on deals? She nodded. Multiple times. Told clients you were still on the team to close contracts. I clenched my fists. So while I was drowning, he was cashing in. Pretty much. For a while, I couldn't speak. The words scraped my throat. Why tell me now? Because you need to stop surviving and start building again, she said. Daniel doesn't own your mind, Ethan. You do. I let out a hollow laugh. You sound like a motivational poster, she smirked. Then read the fine print. I'm serious. You have the skills, the ideas. Start your own thing. With what money? I've got some savings, she said. And I know a guy, Ryan Patel. Young investor, crazy about AI and ethics. He's been looking for someone who actually knows what they're doing. AI and ethics, I repeated. That's rich. Yeah, ironic, huh? But he's smart. You should meet him. I stared at her, uncertain. You think I can just start over? I don't think. I know, she said. Daniel may have the company, but you have the mind that built it. Something in her voice steadied me. Okay, I said quietly. Set up the meeting. 2 days later, we met Ryan at a small rooftop cafe. He couldn't have been older than 27, sharp suit, restless energy. He shook my hand firmly. Maya's told me a lot about you, Ethan. You built the predictive framework at Nexar, right? I hesitated. I did, he smiled. Then you're exactly who I've been looking for. I raised an eyebrow. You don't even know what I'm planning. I know talent when I see it, he said. So tell me what you want to build. I hesitated, then said, something cleaner, smarter. Transparent AI solutions for real businesses, not just flashy demos. No lies, no shortcuts. Ryan leaned back, impressed. Sounds bold, I like it. You have a team? I glanced at Maya. Not yet. Then start with me, said a voice behind us. I turned. Liam Hart stood there, our old software engineer. He grinned. Heard you two were plotting a comeback. Couldn't resist. Liam, I said, surprised. You left Nexar too? After Daniel tried to make me rewrite your code and slap his name on it. I'm loyal, not stupid, Ryan laughed. Looks like you've got your team already, Maya nodded. All we need now is direction. I looked around the table, Maya's determination, Liam's confidence, Ryan's curiosity, and felt something shift inside me. Then here's our direction, I said. We build something real. Something that works because it's ours. Ryan raised his glass. To starting over. I clinked mine against his. To rising. Later as we walked out, Maya nudged me. You're smiling. Am I? Yeah, it's weird. Don't stop, I chuckled softly. Feels strange. Get used to it, she said. You're building again. That night, back at Paul's, I opened my laptop. The same blue glow filled the room, but this time it didn't feel cold. It felt alive. I messaged Maya. Let's meet tomorrow. I've got a name for the company. She replied instantly. Hit me. I typed, Nova Mind. Why? She asked. Because stars are born from collapse, I wrote. For the first time in months, I didn't feel broken. I felt ready, not for revenge, not yet, just for rebirth. 6 months. That's how long it took to turn my life around. Nova Edge wasn't just a name on a sign anymore. It was a living thing. Phones rang nonstop, investors scheduled meetings, and my inbox overflowed with partnership requests. Every email, every handshake felt like proof that I hadn't been destroyed. I'd simply been rebuilt. Maya leaned against my office door one night, holding a paper bag. You've officially forgotten what home-cooked food tastes like, she said. I smiled. That bad, huh? Worse, she said, setting the food down. I saw you eat instant noodles 3 times this week. Efficiency, I said. Time is money. She rolled her eyes. Spoken like a man who doesn't sleep. I grinned. Sleep is overrated when you're winning. Winning? She asked, handing me chopsticks. You call this winning? I raised a brow. You see any tears? She sat across from me. I see someone who's afraid to stop moving. That hit deeper than I expected. Maybe stopping feels too close to falling. Maya softened. You've already fallen, Ethan. Now you're flying. Different thing. I looked at her. You really think so? I know so, she said. Look around you. You built this. I glanced at the glowing monitors, the messy whiteboard, the half-empty coffee mugs. Yeah, I said quietly. We did, she smiled. You still can't take a compliment, can you? Working on it, I said, laughing. We ate in silence for a while. The food was warm, real, grounding. After months of living off caffeine and ambition, it felt almost human again. So, she said between bites, you're officially the tech world's newest golden boy. How does it feel? Strange, I admitted. Everyone wants a piece of you once you're back on your feet. When you're down, they disappear. Except a few, she said. Yeah, I said softly. Except a few. Our eyes met for a second too long. I looked away first. You think it'll last? Nova Edge? She asked. Everything, I said. This success, the calm. She leaned back. Maybe it's not supposed to last. Maybe it's supposed to lead somewhere else. I raised an eyebrow. Like what? She shrugged. You tell me. I chuckled. I'm better at building systems than reading emotions. Clearly, she said, smirking. Good thing you have me. Good thing, huh? Very good thing, she said softly. Something in her tone made the air change. I looked up. Her hand brushed mine as she reached for the napkins, and for a moment, neither of us moved. Her eyes lingered. You okay? She asked quietly. Yeah, I said, my voice lower than I intended. Just surprised. By what? That I can still feel something. Her lips curved into the smallest smile. That's the point, Ethan. You're alive again. I swallowed. You make it sound easy. It's not, she said. But you've done the hard part already. You faced the wreckage. I laughed softly. You always talk like you've got it all figured out. I don't, she said, but I believe in people who refuse to stay broken. Her words hung there, steady, grounding. I wanted to say something, but instead, I just nodded. We spent the rest of the night going over designs, laughing, arguing about code, and somewhere, between the banter and the silence, I realized I wasn't thinking about Alina anymore. Not like before. Still, when Maya left, I sat alone, staring at the city through the glass wall. Lights glittered like 1,000 reminders of everything I'd lost and everything I'd become. My phone buzzed. A message from a journalist. Heard Daniel Cross might be at the Global Tech Summit next month. Would love a quote from you. I stared at the screen, pulse steady but cold. Daniel. The name no longer burned. It focused me. Maya's laughter still echoed in the room, warm and alive. Yet inside, a part of me twisted. I had rebuilt my world, but closure that was still missing. And maybe, just maybe, it was time to find it. It started with a text. Can we talk? Just 4 words glowing on my screen like a ghost I didn't invite. I stared at it for a full minute before locking my phone again. I wasn't that man anymore, the one who waited for her messages like they meant air. 2 hours later, the phone rang. Unknown number. I almost ignored it, but instinct made me answer. Ethan Reed, I said. A familiar voice cracked through static. Ethan, it's Daniel. I laughed quietly. You have some nerve. I need 5 minutes, he said quickly. Just 5, please. I gave you 5 years, I said. You wasted those. Listen, he blurted. The company's under investigation. Investors pulled out, clients are suing. Everything's falling apart. I leaned back in my chair. And what does that have to do with me? You know the system better than anyone. You could help me fix it. Help you? I repeated, almost amused. You fired me. You stole my work. You took my wife. Silence. Then softly. I made mistakes. You made choices, I said. Mistakes are accidents. You planned yours. He tried again. Ethan, please. If I go down, everything goes down with me. The projects, the employees, they'll survive, I said. You won't. He exhaled hard. So that's it? You're just going to watch me burn? I don't have to, I said. You already lit the fire. He cursed under his breath. You'll regret this. Doubt it, I said, ending the call. I set the phone down, feeling nothing. No satisfaction, no pity, just a quiet, heavy calm. Karma had better aim than I ever could. 3 days later, she came. Alina. She stood outside my office, smaller somehow, like the confidence had drained from her bones. Her eyes were red, her makeup smudged. "Ethan," she whispered, "you look different." "I am," I said flatly. "What do you want?" She flinched but stepped inside. I didn't know where else to go. Daniel's place too crowded? Her voice broke. He left me. He used my name for investments that don't exist. I'm broke. He took everything. I nodded slowly. "So now you understand." Tears filled her eyes. I was stupid. I thought he loved me. "And I thought you loved me," I said quietly. "We were both wrong." She stepped closer. "I made a mistake." "You made a choice," I said, "just like he did." "Please, Ethan," she said, her voice trembling. "Can't we start over? You were always the good one." I stared at her. For a moment, I saw the woman I'd once promised everything to, the laughter, the late nights, the plans that never happened. But all of that was buried under too much ruin. "I'm not that man anymore," I said. She reached for my hand, desperate. "We can fix this," I pulled back. "You can't fix what you killed." She started crying harder. "I was lost. He said you didn't care about me anymore. He said what he needed to get what he wanted," I said. "And you believed him because it was easier than believing in me." Her sobs filled the room. "I have nowhere else to go." "Then start where I did," I said coldly. "At the bottom." Her lips trembled. "You really won't forgive me?" I looked her in the eyes. No hatred, no anger, just distance. "You chose your side, Alina. Now live with it." She stared at me for a long second before turning away. The sound of the door closing behind her was quieter than I expected. A few hours later, Maya walked in. "You okay?" "Yeah," I said. "Just cleaning up ghosts." She sat across from me. "Daniel and Alina?" "Both drowning," I said. "Finally." She studied me. "And you?" I thought about it. "Floating," I said. "Maybe even breathing." She smiled. "Good. Stay that way." I nodded, glancing at the skyline outside. Somewhere out there, Daniel was watching his empire crumble, and Alina was learning what betrayal felt like from the other side. I didn't need revenge anymore. I already had peace. It's strange how silence sounds different when you win. Months had passed since Alina's visit. Nova Edge wasn't just surviving anymore, it was dominating. The same clients who once ignored my calls were now begging to sign contracts. We'd just landed 3 major deals, one of them from a company Daniel used to brag about like a trophy. Maya leaned on my desk, grinning. "Guess who just emailed? Please tell me it's not another investor." "Better," she said, smirking. "Crosstech. They want a collaboration." I laughed softly. "You're kidding," she tilted her head. "You think I'd joke about this?" "They're desperate then," I said. "Must be running out of oxygen." Her smile faded. "You going to take it?" I thought for a second. "No, some doors don't deserve to reopen." "Good," she said. "I'd have quit if you said yes," I chuckled. "You're that loyal, huh?" "I just hate seeing people walk backward," she said. I nodded. "So do I." Later that evening, my assistant buzzed. "Sir, someone's here to see you." "Says it's urgent." "Who?" I asked. She hesitated. "Daniel Cross." For a second, I didn't move. Then I sighed. "Send him in." He walked in slowly, thinner, unshaven, wearing a wrinkled suit that didn't fit anymore. His confidence was gone, replaced by a dull sort of apology that sat heavy in the air. "Ethan," he said quietly, "you look different." "Success does that," I said. "Sit." He sat, eyes darting around the office. The office that was twice the size of his old one. "Nice place," he muttered. "It is," I said. "Coffee? Water?" "Water's fine." I poured a glass and handed it to him. He looked at it like it was mercy. "I won't waste your time," he began. Crosstex finished. "I lost everything. Clients, investors, even Sarah, she left last month." I nodded slightly. "Karma's thorough," he winced. "I deserve that." I leaned back. "Then why are you here?" He took a breath. "I need work. Any position. Consultant, advisor, I don't care. I just need something." I stared at him. "You want me to hire you?" Yes, he said quickly. I know I wronged you, but I've changed. I'm not that man anymore. Neither am I said. He looked up, confused.
Meaning?
I don't build revenge, I said calmly. I build futures. Yours isn't part of mine, he swallowed hard. Please, Ethan, I'm begging you. I'll do anything. I stood, walked to the window, and stared out at the city lights. Do you remember the night you fired me? He said nothing. You stood in your office, smug, confident, telling me I was a liability. Alina stood beside you, pretending not to know me. I regret it, he whispered. I don't, I said, because that moment gave me everything you see here. I turned to face him. That's what betrayal does. It creates something stronger than fear. He looked defeated. So that's it? I picked up the glass of water and handed it to him. That's it. He stared at it for a moment before standing. You won, Ethan. You got everything. I met his eyes. No, I just stopped losing. He nodded slowly. Guess that's what winning really is? Maybe, I said. Good luck, Daniel. He left without another word. The door closed quietly behind him, and for the first time in years, I felt still. Maya stepped in a few minutes later. That was him, wasn't it? Yeah, I said. You okay? I am, I said simply. She smiled. Finally sounds true. It is, I said, glancing at the skyline again. Revenge didn't fix me. Letting go did. She leaned beside me. So what now? I smiled faintly. Now, I live. The sound of the waves was softer than I remembered. Maybe because for once I wasn't fighting them. Paul adjusted my tie, grinning. Never thought I'd see the day you'd wear white instead of black. Don't get used to it, I said, smirking. He laughed. You nervous? I glanced toward the arch where Maya stood, sunlight spilling over her hair. No, just grounded. That's new, he said. You used to shake before client meetings. I used to live for the wrong reasons, I said. Now I just live, Paul clapped my shoulder. Proud of you, man. You earned this. I didn't earn her, I said quietly. I just didn't run when I found something real, he smiled. That's earning it in my book. The music started, slow and warm. People turned. The ocean shimmered behind us. When Maya walked down the aisle, everything else blurred. She reached me, eyes soft but steady. You look like you might actually cry, she whispered. Don't push your luck, I said, grinning. Her fingers brushed mine. Ready? I've been ready for a while, I said. The officiant began to speak, but his words faded behind the rhythm of the waves and my heartbeat. Do you, Ethan Cole, take Maya Rivers to be your wife? I looked at her, really looked. All the chaos, the ambition, the revenge, they'd burned away. What was left was peace. I do, I said. When she said it back, her voice was soft, but it carried through me like light through glass. We kissed, and the world exhaled. Applause broke around us, Paul cheering loudest, someone whistling, laughter mixing with the surf. But all I heard was her. I can't believe this is real, she whispered against my shoulder. Neither can I said, but I'm done doubting good things. Later, under the soft gold of sunset, Paul raised a glass. To Ethan and Maya, the proof that life doesn't end after heartbreak. I laughed. You practiced that, didn't you? Absolutely, he said. You think I'd wing a moment like this? Maya smiled. He's a better best man than you were a best friend. Hey, I said, pretending to glare. I was a disaster back then, she squeezed my hand. And now? Now, I said. I'm whole. The guests drifted toward the beach, music playing somewhere behind us. Maya and I stayed by the arch, watching the waves crawl up the sand. You ever think about them? She asked. Sometimes, I admitted. But they're just echoes now, Alina, Daniel. They taught me what not to become. Do you hate them? No, I said. They were the storm. You were the calm after. She leaned her head on my shoulder. You really have changed. I had to, I said softly. Pain doesn't disappear, Maya. It just teaches. She looked up at me. And what did it teach you? That breaking isn't the end, I said. Sometimes it's how you open. She smiled, eyes glistening. So this is your real beginning? It's ours, I said. But yeah, it finally feels like mine too. The ocean roared, distant but kind. The horizon burned gold and pink, and for the first time in years, I felt no weight at all. Some stories end with revenge. Mine ended with peace. Final message, emotional closure. Pain breaks you, but sometimes it breaks you open to something better.